Hey there, I'm Jack Droppers. I am the Director of Student Activities here at Calvin University. I'm so excited that you are here watching our YouTube channel. We are about to embark on a mini concert and conversation. We'll have 3 songs performed, and then we will have a conversation with the artist. I hope that you enjoy these conversations as they invite us to reimagine our own humanity through art. So enjoy.
Go for it. Dope. Grinding my shine from the finer things in life. You know I can't hide. To define, I gotta focus on mine. To define, I gotta focus on my I'm on my grind, grinding my shine from the finer things in life. You know I can't hide. To define, I gotta focus on mine. To define, I gotta focus on my More than one way to do this shit. More than 5 by to do this shit. We gon' find a way through this shit. I'ma love you forever. Hey, that's what the queen said, babe. Still keep attracting, great. Don't know what to say. I'm still learning, it's okay. I'ma get the final say on the way to the holy grave. We gon' get this grind right only if we fall in these folly ways. I'm not chasing dollars, I'm just trying to live time, be live life, live me, be free, see dreams, see food, see. I'm grinding my shine from the finer things in life. You know I can't hide. To define, I gotta focus on my. To define, I gotta focus on my. Grinding my shine from the finer things in life. You know I can't hide. To define, I gotta focus on my. To define, I gotta focus on my. I'm not chasing dollars, I'm just trying to let time be, live life, live me, be free, see dreams, see food, see. I look too far in the box, but I never slept in a car. But I slept right in the car. Chasing dreams, gotta stay mobile so they never get far. Know who you are, can never said, can never saw, can never had who. Know who you are, the divine miracle that manifested straight out the blue. Know that I'm not chasing dollars, I'm just trying to live time, be, live life, live me, be free, see dreams, see food, see. Seafood, see. Seafood, see. Seafood, see. Seafood, see. just what makes it in. Drop all that fakeness that falls short and kills it. But little did I know that wisdom would consume the one that came straight out of the womb in 1992 and taught us to scratch up and back up and patch up for the things that make us, that prove love, that moved us. And I never forget times you made me cry for my behind. Taught me to always be responsible for my grind. You raised 3 pigs, you pleased 1 king, or born for a day. And K was 3.14. 1 love, 5 hugs, 9 folks, 26 for 5 months, 3 days, 5th grade for 9's fate. My thanks is forever great, like karma's fate. I hope to be the place you have in my heart. In the start of a life, I aim to make one day, aim to praise one day. Have you teach and tame and call grand babe? Had them say one way with no hesitate. You taught me how to be an independent part, how to play my part, how to wise my heart, how to play my part, how to wise. So you'll always be in my heart. You played your part every day from the start. You'll always be in my heart. You played your part every day from the start. Hey Pop, sometimes I know we butt heads like mountain rams fighting. Our heads crack like coconuts against foam beds. Strong heads was the main requirement for your kids. So perhaps an argument is measurement for success. Sometimes I frown, but I know like a mountain I'm blessed. Or like a fountain I catch memories of times I used to hide on the couch and get glee. When you found me acting silly and freely, just being me. Some say some black man's pain is passed down to his son. And although through download I got a bit more than some, I wouldn't trade it, I wouldn't fade it. Instead I tame it, instead I name it. Hamilton inspiration for the grind in desperate times. Must be divine, or need a crime just to understand the type of man that grinds all the time. Superman, Daddy Robux, I love you for it, I never forget. What you did for Ashton, Brandon, Jordan is never spoken, but I hope my actions show it, I hope you know it. I hope my actions show it, I hope you know it. I hope you know that. You'll always be in my heart. You played your part every day from the start. You'll always be in my heart. You played your part every day, every day, every day. It's 1:30 again, locals arguing us two. They say boys don't cry, but I cry for you. And I thought we'd made it past the hard times. Another notch on the belt to tighten, but this time, babe, the weight is too much. And there's no songs on a weekend, and there's no songs on a weekend. Woke up this morning, got my check in the mail. It's the perfect time and it's the birthday for my little girl. Lost your mother, and you're the spitting image of her. But don't cry, babe, you're very much worth. Those no songs on the weekend. Those no songs on the weekend. Never saw my blessings to focus on negativity. I reckon too dark for light, a heart broke to play my part late, to strong my star code to share my warmth. And I wanna be a star one day, bright and warm even in the cold dark space. Please charge it to my head, not to my heart. Probably do it again if not for search within. And didn't make your head one spin. I took up 40 ounces of loco, mixed with gin, then turn around and play miracle around and 10 kids, knowing darn well I shouldn't have done it. I gave blood to the M, respecting more still our bad men. I could still have a chance to be president. I should focus more on love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. Focus more on love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. Still, the bad times we have those. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. It's still the bad times we have those. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. It's still the bad times we have those. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. Love, peace, gratitude, forgiveness. It's still the bad times we have those. It's 1:30 again. Look who's singing songs, us two.
Cool. Hey friends, we're back here with Jordan Hamilton, who just performed. Thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So you have a lot of musical things that you do. You have this solo project. You play in Gasp Collective, which is one of my favorite bands from around here.
Hell yeah.
But you also, do you still teach?
I do teach.
Yeah, so you teach cello to kids, right?
Yep.
And you're teaching them like Bach and like classical stuff? Or?
Yeah, it ranges.
Okay.
It ranges. So a lot of them I'm teaching like beginning, just random songs, and then some of them have been coming to me for some like electric cello, or like trying to learn how to cover things that they love. So, yeah.
So I watched. I'm terrible with classical music, so forgive me.
Nope.
But I watched a live stream of you this summer where you were talking about Bach. And you were talking about just what he does musically and how that inspires your music.
Right.
Which, if I were to hear just your music and not see you play, I would be like, oh, this is such a fascinating combination that would be like one of your main almost co-conspirators of the past. So what is it about Bach's music for anyone who didn't watch that live stream that like really inspires you?
I have always been inspired by some of the solo cello works that he's written. And if you grew up playing classical music, the violins or the pianos or keyboard instruments usually get all the solo stuff because it doesn't really sound as convincing to have one line played, just a song or a piece by itself. But his pieces have all the harmony and the melodies in the same spot, and I just found that, initially just be like, whoa, how does that happen? So, that was the beginning of it, and it's just like, okay, how does one organism, one thing create a whole picture? Just that idea. But that a lot of composers just didn't know how to do. But then once I got further and further into it, there's many other things. Like I love it's like the balance between intellect and emotion a little bit. I love that. I'm always trying to figure out how to balance two extremes.
Yeah.
And I feel like he does a perfect job at it, but then I also figured out he's just mad prolific.
Yep.
And, you know, like he wrote so much music in so little time. And then I figured out he loved coffee. Like he just drank like maybe 20 cups of coffee a day. And then I figured out he had a ton of kids. And then I figured out he was actually a very silly person.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, whoa, this dude is cool. You know? So, yeah, there's a lot of things that inspire me about him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he was very low key. No one really knew what he was. He was just this crazy person doing like the old music. It's like he's still rapping 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
In like the 2000s. Everybody's like, his son was more popular than him. And they're like, yo, Dad, you need to get off of this old style. There's like this new stuff, you know, that Mozart and all them are making. This new classical. That was the style that they were doing. And he was like, nah, y'all do what y'all want. And then they went back to his stuff. And they discovered it. It's like, yo, this is like the best music we've ever heard. Kind of what happened with Jay Dilla.
Yeah.
So
it can be incredible sometimes where like we look back 50 years and be like, how did we miss this?
For real.
And like particularly now, like in the age of the internet, like
for real.
I've like every time I've seen you, I think I've seen you play live 3 or 4 times, and every time I'm like, not to like, you know, boost your ego too much, but I'm like, how are people missing this? Like, this is such a cool like complement of styles and some of the looping stuff. It feels like we're watching you compose live, which is fun to see that like happen. Of adding in, you know, on that one song you're adding in some female vocal parts on your looping machine with Jessica. The drums with your feet and a couple cello parts. Like, it feels a little silly that's not bigger.
Right. I mean, hey, I'll take whatever I can play for.
Yeah. So one of the questions we like to ask artists, which is a weird question to ask now that we're not playing live shows a ton,
right?
Is what makes an audience a good audience when you're at a show? So you can talk about that when people are in person, or even like for live streams. Like, what makes an audience a good audience?
I think engagement.
Yeah.
You know, I think engagement in like, you know, a metaphysical sense, like, you know, you could just feel that everybody's attention is there, and it's like you can feel that energy. And then, or like even the physical sense, like maybe with noise, you know, people like, woo, oh, wow, whoa, you know, something like that. Or, you know, the lack of noise sometimes can be an intense physical attraction. Because it's like, so I think engagement is probably some of the best ways to enjoy a crowd. And, you know, when they're singing or they're like talking to each other sometimes about how excited they are in between songs or something, I find that to be really inspiring.
Interesting. You might be the first person I've said that when people are talking.
Yeah, like, it's dope, yo. People having a good time, you know.
I get that.
For it.
Like, if people are never like when you're in the middle of a song, but in between songs, like
in between songs, right? Especially if, you know, the song is appropriate. Like, I mean, like if I was playing some like really hype music and everybody's like, yo, whoa, you know, talking there is cool too. Yeah. I mean, when I'm doing a song about like, you know, some heavy topic, and then people are just talking about their, I don't know.
Yeah, where are we going
cup
after
of coffee?
this?
That's kind of that's rude, and that's like annoying. That's different. You know? That's like not engaged. Yeah. But engaged talking, like trying to understand something, the excitement. It's great. And also, I think I like it a little bit more than other musicians because I grew up playing in like these dead silent concert halls where the silence was fake. You know, it's like people, you're shunned for coughing. You know, it's like you feel like you need to die or, you know, just to not interrupt this music. Yeah. I hate that. Yeah. So I'd rather, you know, people just be themselves, and that way I kind of feel, oh, wow, I know how this is affecting you anyway. So.
That's cool. That's awesome. One of the questions we've been asking recently is, it's not too far of a stretch to say that as a community, as a culture, we're in sort of this moment of crisis.
Yep.
How do you feel, I guess, what do you feel is the responsibility of artists in a time of crisis?
I mean, I have been sort of just co-signing what Nina Simone said in terms of how I approach my artistry, reflecting the times. Yeah. That's kind of what I co-sign for my artistry. But also I find that when you're reflecting the times, it's not reflecting one perspective. So like some people are, in a very traumatic time, or some people may be in a very traumatic time anywhere in history. And then some people may be experiencing intense joy, or some people may be experiencing some grief or whatever. And I think it's a musician's ability to reflect that emotion and give people something to latch onto, give some people to attach these emotions to in these little time capsules of sound. You listen to that sound, it's like, yo, I remember when I heard that at this time. So whatever music can help people capture, or whatever art can help people create these time capsules for whatever they're experiencing right now, or maybe experiencing in the future. That's kind of what I believe artists can do and are doing, either intentionally or not intentionally. But I do think I co-sign for my art, just reflecting the times.
Very cool. That's awesome. Well, I would love to keep talking, but I know you've got a sound check at Wealthy Theater tonight, which will have aired before this airs on YouTube. But where can people find your music if they want to hear more?
You can go to Jordan Hamilton Music on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or jordanhamiltonmusic.com. You can also type in Jordan Hamilton on your streaming platforms all across the board: Amazon, Tidal, Spotify,
all those
Apple
things.
Works. Yeah, Jordan Hamilton, My Thoughts Are. And then you can check out Gasp Collective. You can find my music there as well.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.